Now the Youth Day was formed on the southern Cameroon to commemorate independence for the southern Cameroon, Independence Day, which was the plebiscite day, because there was no other greater thing achieved in the southern Cameroon than by voting so massively for independence and unification. The 11th February is a historic day for the southern Cameroon, which should be commemorated. That was formed by me and my government of the southern Cameroon in 1964. Then 1968, well, the East Cameroon were imitating, want to imitate it. So Ahidjo thought it should be centralized, it should be made central. So he centralized it to be also practiced in all parts of the federation. That was 1960, about 1968, 4 years after. But he did not say that it was there. It was started in 1968, he said. Imagine, I think, which was being run in the southern Cameroon since 1954. When he transferred it, he didn't mention the southern Cameroon. It was originated in 1968. Or 1966, it might have been 1966 when he transferred it, between these two dates.
Because there is a lot of misinformation, lies, fake news and manipulation regarding the history of the former British Southern Cameroons. So when I don't hear from Pa John Go-Foncha himself, it tokam, no na me tokam. The evidence it be laid bare for una for understand them. The people, the way they be start for celebrate 11th of February as a youth day, now West Cameroon, under the Prime Minister office of John Go-Foncha. Now later on, where President Amadou Ahidjo, Ibisiam, and it decide now for embrace the brothers from West Cameroon and for make the day, make it be national so that the whole country it will celebrate them in honor of the people there for West Cameroon, for celebrate, jubilate and honor the decision where the people they be make them for vote for that plebiscite on the 11th of February 1961 for can join with for reunification. So now what's that way President Amadou Ahidjo it be just the try for honor the people there for West Cameroon. But today for 2025, if you hear some Anglophones they talk about 11th of February, where they talk say they declare lockdowns, ghost towns, all of those things them. So once they talk, they just basically spread lies. They talk say, oh, Yaoundé don't do this, Amadou Ahidjo do that. No, the day where Anglophones themselves they decide, they select them of all the 360 something days in the year, the one day where the people there for West Cameroon they be choose them, decide for celebrate them, na 11th of February, and they be call them say Youth Day. When I don't hear from Pa John Go-Foncha himself, now John Go-Foncha it be decide for celebrate 11th of February as Youth Day, and President Amadou Ahidjo it just accommodate him and then it make him federal so that make the whole country is celebrate, not just West Cameroon. Thank you plenty, una happy Youth Day. So my country people them, this letter now from Mbile, as now see the date for day on the 22nd of September 1959 before the plebiscite. Now the letter this will be right time. So the first part of this letter it come now from actually some person where named Mohamedou, when now from the northern Cameroons. So this one is not concern we. I want to make una go for this page. Una fit download this document for the United Nations archive. Una examine them for yourself. So una see this letter and the topic that it talks about it. Undated letter from Mr. Namaso Mbile to the Secretary General. So I know we'll read the whole letter for una, but I don't highlight certain parts of the letter where I go one make we read them. It will give una a greater understanding of things where they will happen in 1950s and 60s before, during and after the plebiscite. So Mbile right, it talks of recent the Southern Cameroons has received so much publicity at the United Nations that I do not think it is necessary anymore to go into detail to introduce the territory. But I wish, sir, to remind members of the General Assembly of some basic factors which are essential to reckon with when handling the case of the Cameroons before proceeding to the main subject of my petition. So I want to give the background before I go talk about the petition where they write them. Remember this one now for 1959, it request a meeting for the General Assembly for hear your petition. So it continue, it talks it. What is called Southern Cameroon today is part of an artificial creation of the Berlin Conference in 1885. While the national units of the territory or the tribes were busy fighting tribal wars amongst themselves and in peacetime were engaged in other forms of tribal activity, the Berlin Conference of European nations partitioned Africa amongst the scrambling nations. So, unknown to any one of these units, the Bakweri, the Balondo, the Bafos, the Bakosi, the Bayangi, the Ekoa, and the Ajagams of the coastal forest belt were linked with the Widikums, the Bamita, the Bali, the Bafut, the Banso, the Bamunka, or Bamukong of the grassland uplands of the Bamenda and the Bamums, the Bamleke, the Sanaga, the Gaundere semi-Arab stock of near Chad area into what the Germans labeled Cameroon with a K. So this arrangement commenced in 1886 and came to an abrupt end in 1914 as a result of the Great World War I. The German administration of Cameroon lasted for less than 30 years, and it did not have time enough to create even a sense of belonging to the national unity amongst the different tribes of the territory. The handful of schools established in the few places around the plantation areas had merely turned out a few young men who could spell names and write figures for plantation work. A few who had showed brilliance had been further trained as teachers to turn out more timekeepers and checkers for the plantations. And so, when in 1919 the Treaty of Versailles divided Cameroon between Britain and France, they were not splitting a people or a nation. Cameroon had not taken shape of a nation. This new arrangement was again another artificial creation. The present Southern Cameroon was created into a province of Nigeria and administered from Lagos like the other 22 provinces of Nigeria. This new creation of the Treaty of Versailles has carried on until this day and has produced tremendous and lasting results. There are hundreds of schools, several colleges, and English language is widely spoken. One may ask then why there is this insistence on the part of some people in the Southern Cameroons to secede from Nigeria. The answer is that this is a vote-catching creation of politicians who are exploiting the ignorance of the masses by suggesting to them that a change of political status would provide the answer to their poverty and underdevelopment. There are people who ignorantly believe the lies of the politicians that it is money from the Southern Cameroons that is building Lagos and other cities in Nigeria. I want for pause for day for explain for una say the lies them where they tell people them back in the days in the 1950s they haven't changed. Now exactly the same lies the way they tell una today for 2025 when they lie for una say na CDC or na Southern Cameroons or na Northwest or West they feed La République du Cameroon. Those are big fat lies. You see na Mbile this way it talk for 1959. Say it call am say wetin. They believe the lies of the politicians that it is money from the Southern Cameroons that is building Lagos and other cities in Nigeria. The same lie where they be talking for 1959, they recycle the same lies for full Anglophones them for 2025, saying that Southern Cameroons they feed the Republic of Cameroon. For 1959, they be talk the same thing, saying that Southern Cameroons they feed Nigeria. Now the money where they take from there, they build Lagos and all of those things. So we'll continue. So it continue for talk say, also a great deal of present battle is really a struggle between the grassland tribes in the Bamenda versus the forest southern coastal belt. Will the United Nations agree that a change of political status is the answer to our poverty and underdevelopment? So it tell una the true fight about this thing for secede from Nigeria and the reason why we will get a plebiscite in the first place. Now the infighting between the grassland tribes in Bamenda versus the forest southern coastal belt. So Mbile, like I don't already talk, now person may come from Dian Southwesterner. EML Endelena Bakwere.
Southwesterner from Fako, and then you get the John Gofoncha and Estimuna and Augustine Gomjua them, when are Graphi people them. So this letter, 1959, will continue. It talks about it. My honest view, we'll start from there. It say, my honest view is that even a plebiscite cannot indicate the genuine wishes of the people. The people in the territory are still loyal to their tribal leadership, especially in the Bamenda grassland, and may be voting purely against their own interest merely because that is the line taken up by their chief. Will it normally be right for people to be expected to vote their posterity into a situation that they do not understand at all? So this one now, Namaso Mbile, it talks say, the people them from the northwest region, the Graphi people them, they be affiliated, they respect and they honor their chiefs so much, such that they go follow their chief into the grave. Anything where their chief tell them for do they go do am. And that is true till today. The chiefs them for northwest, if you compare the power where they hold them over their people them to the chiefs them for southwest. For example, why were the Amba terrorists, they be catch chiefs them for southwest, they kill them. But when they catch chiefs on northwest, they fear for kill them because they know the importance, they know the weight and the power where the northwest chiefs they carry them. So you see all of these things, I'm doing that something where it happened today. These things are things that have been happening since before the plebiscite. So it continue. So for this next paragraph, Mbile, it talks saying, we believe that the only way to attain the objectives of the United Nations is for Southern Cameroons to attain self-government as a region of Nigeria and independence with the rest of the Federation or with French Cameroons. So it talks saying, for achieve what the United Nations want, make we either get independence with Nigeria or with Cameroon. There is nowhere in this paragraph where it gives an option of a third option. Nowhere in this writing where Mbile it ask for the third alternative, say make we get independence on our own. It did not exist back then in the 50s. Not a single political leader for former British Southern Cameroons it be stand ask for the third option. Not one. All the people them like Mbile, Muna, Endele, where they be go to talk for United Nations, they be only they articulate the fact say Southern Cameroons is not be ready for independence, and I go bring on more evidence. So it continue for talk say, but for the latter choice now for joining French Cameroon, it say we have no interest because even though we may win independence, there will be so many problems in running a government with French Cameroon that we shall be worse than ever before. So once again, Mbile is the advocate for join Nigeria, not French Cameroon. Now you position that. So it talks saying, my last submission is an attempt to a solution. There are tribes that feel most strongly against any question of introducing another international frontier between Nigeria and the Southern Cameroons. Such tribes, amongst them, the Bakweris, the Balondos, the Ekoa, and the Bokis, and the people of Nkamba division. Like I don't prove for now exactly the tribes and this way they be vote for join Nigeria because they don't be want to see another frontier or a boundary, an international boundary between the former British Southern Cameroons and Nigeria. So the tribes that we write them. Remember, say this letter I write them now for 1959 before the plebiscite, and it come to pass at the plebiscite. Now exactly the tribes in this way they vote for join Nigeria. It talk them. It say these tribes them the Bakweri, the Balondo, the Bokis, and Nkamba division. They know one time, and it talks say they are very conscious of the problems that a reopening of the old Anglo-German frontier will reopen for them. It say. It says, we are ready to accept a solution that will allow each tribe or division to choose freely where it would desire to be, in Nigeria or with French Cameroon. You see, no third option. No me I write this letter. Mbile write down for 1959. No third option. It say, for these tribes them where it don't list them up for here, these tribes then, the Bakure, Balondo, Nkamba division, it asks, say, make those tribes them, they freely choose which way for belong, either with Nigeria or Cameroon. It said we cannot accept to jump into a precipice with the tribes of Bamenda, Wom, and parts of Manfe merely because they have more tribesmen to cast blind votes. It tell that they have more tribesmen to cast blind votes, Bamenda and Wom, because even back then for 1959, they understand, say, the people then for the forest region or the Cameroon's province, the Southwesterners, na a minority. And it fear, even before the plebiscite, say, the Bamenda people, they go vote overwhelmingly for join Cameroon, and they go drag the Bakwere, the Bakosi, the Boki, and the Nkambe people, them, it go drag them into French Cameroon, even if they no want for go. So, ye proposition, ye attempt at a solution, now for talk say, make the United Nations, it allow each tribe to decide who's how way they want for go. If the Nkambe vote for join Nigeria, make they join Nigeria. If the Bakwere want for join Nigeria, make they join Nigeria. So that make the Bamenda and the Wom people the way they want for join Cameroon, make they join Cameroon. That was his attempt at a solution. You understand? So it continued for talk say, especially when, as we know, the people there are under the influence of their chiefs and their tribal loyalties to a point difficult for the Western mind to figure out. In spite of the misleading indication that a plebiscite in the Southern Cameroons today will give, the United Nations feels we should go ahead with it. Then the question must be a straight choice between remaining with Nigeria or joining French Cameroons. No third option. Okay? Remaining with Nigeria or joining French Cameroons. No third option. Now, Mbile the right time. It talks say, I beg to request for permission to appear before the fourth committee to give oral support and evidence to buttress the submissions in my petition when the Southern Cameroon's case shall be handled. May I also respectfully request you to circulate this petition amongst the members and delegates of the General Assembly and of the fourth committee, as well as amongst the members of the trusteeship council. You see, he signed up for here, right for down here. He signed Namaso Mbile, leader of the Cameroon People's Party, the KPP, and the deputy opposition leader in the Cameroon's House of Assembly, and also the president of the Balondo People's Convention. So now Namaso Mbile, that now the petition that way he write 1959, he request for request for permission to appear before the fourth committee. Guess what? The request was granted, and a week later he will appear at the fourth committee, and we will deal with that later next.
Now my country people them make a digress small for make sure say when they still pay attention. When I watch this one, the Ambazonian terrorists they test one of their latest technological innovation for fight for fight war against the Cameroon military. I beg, make when I know over laugh. When I listen and watch and enjoy. It's a fire. So that one now the poorly educated Anglophone youth then that way they sacrifice their lives in the bush every day. And now why that way it be so important for we learn our history so that we not continue for they make this stupidity and they lost this our lives and our resources then for nothing. So yes, my country people then we go mash fire.
So this next document now, once again, now from the United Nations General Assembly 14th session, official records for the fourth committee 887th meeting. Now if you see the date for here, Friday 25th of September 1959, a few days after Mbile the request for appear in front of this fourth committee. So if you see for here the contents where they talk agenda item number 41, where they talk about the future of the trust territory of the Cameroons under United Kingdom administration continued. So the chairman for that meeting, he come from Indonesia, Mr. Pala, and now the agenda items in this, the future of the trust territory, Southern Cameroons, blah, 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 blah. And then now, if you see unfair, they continue the hearing of the petitioners. So I don't highlight certain parts of this document where I want for read and for una. It no go be a good use of una time for me for read every single word on this document. So I don't just select some excerpts and forgive una the gist and understanding of what way it be happen for 1959 just before the plebiscite. So this year for here the talks the questions addressed to the representative of the United Kingdom, the Premier of Southern Cameroon, and the leaders of the opposition in the Southern Cameroon's House of Assembly.